Hello, all my dear students. I welcome you all to Chakru Academy. In today's session, I am going to discuss some numericals which has been asked in your previous year board exam from the topic optical instruments. If you have still not seen the previous video which I have made on the optical instruments, in which I have discussed the construction, working, derivation of angular magnification for simple microscope, compound microscope and telescope, do go to the channel and search in the grade 12 CBSE physics playlist. You will find the video, go through that, complete your notes. It will help you a lot in your board exam. So let's start with our today's session. So if you see the first question is sum of focal length of two lenses of a refracting telescope is 105 centimeter. It means focal length of the objective plus focal length of the eyepiece is given as 105 centimeter. Focal length of one lens is 20 times that of the focal length of the other. Okay. You need to determine the total magnification of the telescope when the final image is formed at infinity. When the final image is formed at infinity, what is the formula for the magnification, students? The formula for the magnification is f naught by fe when the image is formed at infinity. So let's use this formula. Let me select the pen. So magnification for the telescope is m equals to fo by fe when the image is formed at infinity. Hmm. The sum of the focal length fo plus fe is 105 centimeter, and the focal length of one lens is 20 times that of the other. So focal length of one lens is 20 times the focal length of the other lens. So we need to identify that which one will be greater, which one will be smaller. As we know in the construction of telescope, the objective, the focal length and aperture is way greater than the focal length and the aperture of the eyepiece. Because if the focal length and aperture of objective is more, it can gather more light. So focal length of the objective should be 20 times the focal length of eyepiece. You need to identify by using the construction ka funda which one will be greater. Substitute here. So it is 20 Fe plus Fe equals to 105. So 21 times of Fe is equal to 105. So what is the focal length of the eyepiece? 105 by 21, which is 5 centimeter, right? Which is 5 centimeter. So from this logic, what will be the focal length of objective? 20 times of Fe. So 20 into 5, 100 centimeter. Correct? Any problem? Let's substitute here. So the magnification is FO by FE. So FO is how much? 100. And FE is how much? So FO is 100. What is FE? 5. You can substitute 5 here. So what is the magnification? 20x. Magnification is how much? 20. It's very simple question. So you should know the formula. That is the first thing. Then you should know that the objective has higher focal length and aperture as compared to eyepiece in the telescope. Let's move to the next question. Students, let's discuss the next question. If you see the next question, in this question, we have a table. In this table, how many lenses are given? Three lenses, L1, L2, L3. We have two more columns. In the first column, we have the data of the power of all three lenses. And in the third column, we have the aperture. You need to comment which lenses will be perfectly fit for the objective and eyepiece of the microscope or microscope, objective and eyepiece of the telescope. This is the question. So let's recall the fundamentals. So if you remember what we discussed, that for the compound microscope, the focal length of the objective was smaller as compared to focal length of the eyepiece. In compound microscope, eyepiece was having higher focal length as compared to objective, but the difference between the focal length is small. Similarly, the difference between the aperture is also small, or you can say aperture is almost same in a compound microscope. So compound microscope, the eyepiece has a higher focal length as compared to objective, and aperture is almost same, almost. Or you can say aperture is also higher for eyepiece as compared to objective, but difference is small. If you see between which two lenses the aperture ka difference is small, which is L2 and L3. Between L2 and L3, the difference of the aperture is small. It means L2 and L3 will be participating in forming the compound microscope. That is sure, 100% sure. But out of L2 and L3, which one will be objective? Which one will be eyepiece? So that will be decided by the focal length. That will be decided by the focal length. So what will be the focal length of L2? Or is 1 by F, right? So focal length will be what? 1 by 6 meters. And here focal length will be what? 1 by 10 meters. So which one is having higher focal length? L2, 1 by 6. So L2 is having higher focal length. So L2, the focal length is higher as compared to focal length of L3, right? It means L2 will act as the eyepiece and L3 will act as a objective. And this calculation we are doing for compound microscope. Compound microscope. I hope that funda is clear. I'm repeating again. First of all, how did I decide L2 and L3 will be used for compound microscope? Because the difference between their aperture is negligible, or you can say very small. Now, out of that L2 and L3, which one will be objective, which one will be eyepiece? Objective has less focal length as compared to eyepiece. So, power ka expression is given. Ulta of power is focus. So, power is 6, focal length will be 1 by 6, focal length will be 1 by 10. So, 1 by 6 is greater than 1 by 10. So, L2 will be eyepiece, L3 will be objective. Now, let's do the calculation for telescope. In telescope, the difference between the focal length and the aperture both is high. The difference is significant, and the focal length of the objective is more as compared to focal length of eyepiece. Focal length of objective should be higher. The difference between the focal length of both should be significant, not smaller. So if you see the difference between the aperture, okay, see the difference between the aperture 8 and 1, significant difference. See the difference between their power, significant difference. So if the difference between power is more, difference between focal length will be also more, right? So L1 and L3, L1 and L3 will be used for telescope because they have significant difference in their focal length and aperture. Now objective has higher focal length. If you see 3 and 10, power is less, means focal length will be higher. So L1 will be the objective and L3 will be this. So students, just see once. Let me know if you guys have any doubts in the comment box so that I can take few more questions similar to this. But most of the questions which are given in the tabular form is similar to this, where you need to compare their focal length and aperture, identify the type of lens for the objective and eyepiece. So I took two important questions which are regularly asked in your board exam. I hope that you learned a lot of new things through these two problems of the optical instrument. Do let me know in the comment box what is the next concept you want to learn from Chakru Academy. Do prepare for your board exam properly. Chakru Academy is with you.